Hi everyone, today we're sitting with Marco from Outflow Forex. This is going to be a two-part series interview with Marco, where today we're going to cover the outflow of funds from South Africa, but recently we had a very nice statistic is that 4 in 10 properties are being sold to international purchasers. We have seen that ourselves personally within our Cape Town and Joburg offices. And it's interesting how we thought the process would be is actually quite different. So I'm actually quite excited to cover that topic with you on our next interview, Marco, so we can let everybody know what's involved in that process. But today I think we should start simply, and I think what I would like to know is it easy just to move money overseas, Marco?
Brilliant. First, thanks for having me. I think it's a great interview to have like property and Forex specialists come together and see where we can assist your clients.
Absolutely.
So yes, it's very simple to move funds out of South Africa, and it is quite regulated by the Reserve Bank. Firstly, a South African resident needs to have SA ID book, an SA tax number. They must be above the age of 18, and then they can utilize their allowance. So the most common use or category that most clients use is their foreign investment allowance. So it can be moved out for shares, purchasing bonds, a fund account, and most importantly, property overseas, which seems to be the most important that people are always looking to purchase.
Marco, in terms of changes in regulations, has there been any changes in this last financial year?
Yeah, so in the finance budget in April 2026, there was a change. So under your allowance, you get your 1 million allowance, which was now changed to 2 million. And then the nice part about that is it gives good purchasing power to clients. So in terms of leaving South Africa, let's say you've invested 1 million already offshore, and you decided to join the World Cup, and those tickets were 50,000 to 100,000, you could have utilized another 1 million for your travels.
Marco, do you need approval from SARS and the Reserve Bank for your 2 million rand?
So yes and no. To move funds overseas, you need Reserve Bank approval.
Oh.
So with a licensed intermediary like Outflow Forex or an authorized dealer, they'll assist you with moving the funds overseas and just make sure that the funds get reported correctly with the Reserve Bank.
Okay.
And then in terms of SARS, no, you don't need an approval. Pretty much you can move the funds freely, as long as you are up to date with your good standing with SARS. So your status just needs to be updated, but you can freely move funds under your 2 million allowance for the year. And that's per calendar year, so it resets on the 1st of January 2027. Yeah.
Marco, what if somebody has a bigger investment that they've made overseas and they need more than that 2 million? How would they go about that?
Okay, so pretty much this is where the foreign investment allowance comes in. So if you've utilized your 2 million allowance, you're allowed to move another 1 million to 10 million with a tax clearance. So it's an application to SARS. The application is quite stringent, so they do ask about your assets and liabilities, and there is a bit of documentation that needs to be supported, so your source of funds. Submit it through to SARS, and you can get what's called your ART, so it's an approval for international transfer. And then once that PIN letter comes through, generally takes about 2 to 3 weeks, then you can freely move the next 1 to 10 million under that allowance.
Wow, sounds quite painless actually. I thought it would be a lot worse.
Yeah.
So Marco, let's say we've got a family that is now deciding to purchase a property abroad, and obviously it should be quite a substantial amount. Can you buy it as multiple people in terms of moving the funds? Does everybody's funds get allocated individually, or how would that work?
Yeah, perfect. Good question. So pretty much each individual gets that 2 million allowance, so they can both individually move the 2 million out. And the nice thing is when you combine the two, you get 4 million that you can move out quite quickly. And then when it resets again in January, you can move another 2 million each. So another 4 million, and that's 8 million within, the space of 2 years. And then that 8 million is offshore. It is a little bit expensive overseas to purchase those properties, so essentially the client will need to get that tax clearance, and Outflow Forex can get that tax clearance for them at no cost.
Oh wow.
So that streamlines the process for them as well.
Okay, wonderful. So in closing today, we're just going to have a little snippet to give you like a preview for our next interview. Is it quite easy for non-residents to bring funds into South Africa?
Yeah, so it is quite easy. So pretty much there's no limitations for non-residents to bring money in. Pretty much all they need to do, and the most important, is a compliance review. So you need to ensure that in terms of anti-money laundering and terrorist financing, that the source of funds has been reviewed, and they go through their compliance checks with the banks as well as with Envelope Forex. And then once those check boxes are done, then the non-resident can bring the funds in quite easily. Once the funds are in, it gets reported correctly, and then they can purchase that property, that dream home or holiday home that they're looking for.
So Mark, as our final question today, what is your best advice for someone looking to make a substantial cross-border transfer?
So I think the most important is to work with a specialist, a Forex specialist, and I'd like to put Envelope Forex out there. So the most important is that we streamline the process for clients from start to finish. So we hold their hand through from the beginning to the end. We help you with a cost-effective route. So we show you where all the hidden costs are when you're using a bank. But most importantly, we streamline the process for you from start to finish. Pretty much just hold your hand from the beginning to end, and just make sure that your funds get reported correctly and follows all the regulations with the Reserve Bank.
Which is important for us, guys. We like to work with reputable partners. We don't want any comebacks or any issues for our clients. So it's at that point, guys, that I'll be ready to assist you. Thanks, Marco. It's been a pleasure, and I look forward to our part 2, which is personally my exciting one. I'm quite excited about all these purchases that are coming to our country and investing with us. So yeah, thank you again, and I look forward to the next one.
Yeah, thank you, Tanya. I appreciate it. I think the next one will be quite interesting, because as we delve deeper into the non-residents, there will be a lot of questions, especially around the processing. So yeah, I look forward to walking your clients through that process from start to finish. Yeah, and once again, thanks for collaborating with me.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks, Marco.